Hey guys, my name is Sam.
And my name is Mew, and welcome to a review of Phasmophobia.
Yay.
Now, I'm already past level 600, and Sam is level 500 already, so we both have a lot of experience with the game, and we wanted to have a little review. So we are going to talk first about what is Phasmophobia. So if you don't want to hear the explanation of the game and how the game works, you can skip ahead to the time that is on the screen right now. And then we'll just start with the pros, the cons, and what the game might bring in the future. So if you would like to see that, just, go to the timestamp that's on the screen right now. Okay, so, Sam, what is Phasmophobia?
So, Phasmophobia is a 4-player co-op game and solo. You can play the game solo as well, where you have to find a ghost and use your equipment to find evidence and determine which type of ghost you're playing against or hunting against, I guess. You go inside, you locate the right room, and then you go back, grab equipment. There's also side objectives that you can do to gather more experience and money. And if you've done those side objectives and you have found the right ghost, you leave the game. Well, you don't leave the game, you leave the map, I guess. And then, that's basically it. The money that you get, you can actually buy more equipment that makes the hunting easier, like sanity pills that raise your sanity, a better flashlight, more cameras, tripods, stuff like that. And you can also, and then the experience that you get is used for your levels, and the levels determine which type of difficulty you can play as.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only till level 15, so it's not that long, to be honest.
Yeah, true.
And if you're playing with friends or level 600 and you're playing professional, you're like 3 or 4 levels in one round. So that's the basic thing about Phasmophobia. It's a 4-player co-op ghost hunting game
that you can also play solo.
Yes. And
talking about that, this is actually a pro for us, is that it is a 4-player co-op game, and you can play it solo as well. So if you like to have like the full horror experience and you really want to be scared, we recommend playing it solo, because if you're playing solo, believe me, you won't feel alone anymore. But if you want to have like the fun aspect of it, you can play with friends, and you can see your friends get scared, or your friends can see you get scared.
Or die. Because we're sadistic as fucks.
We're sadistic fucks. When you're playing with friends, you're less scared. You're more focused on the having fun part. You start cussing out the ghost.
Until the ghosts start hunting you, and then it's like, oh no!
Yeah, true. As soon as the ghosts start hunting, your butt clenches and you're like, oh shit. But
and me and Mew are both big horror fans, and finding a game like Phasmophobia was like, heaven come true, or whatever.
Yes.
Heaven.
Heaven came down on us.
Yeah,
it was like the perfect gifts. The perfect gifts of horror.
Because you can't actually find a lot of decent co-op horror games. And I think Phasmophobia does what it does really well.
It's great. It's fun. It's spooky. It's an amazing game. We really like it.
Yeah, the atmosphere in the game is top notch. The maps are great. I mean, looking for a ghost in an abandoned asylum or an abandoned high school or prison, or like a farmhouse. Like Mew's favorite map is a farmhouse. It's so well done. The noise, like the creaking of the floor and the doors opening, closing if the ghost is playing with them. The sound design, like if you're actually playing with friends and you're using the local way to talk.
It really adds a lot to the game.
It's so much fun. Like hearing your friends scream like a couple of rooms away, it's muffled, and it adds so much to the game.
True. Like, and then the walkie-talkies, if someone is in the van and the other person is in the house, and you have to use the walkie-talkies because you can't hear each other because you're so far away, it adds so much atmosphere to the game.
The whole vibe of the game is just top notch in my opinion. Like
the creaking in Bleasdale,
everything.
the knocking on the window. If a ghost just
And
like
then the
slams on the
ghost
window, it's
size and noise
Love
that
it.
they make and the grudge noise and stuff like that. So I love it.
Yeah,
That's-
it's amazing. I really like it.
amazing.
And what I also really like is that there are different ghost types. You have 12 different ghost types, which we are not going to name all of them. We made a little guide. We'll put a link in the description below. But there are 12 different ghost types, and each ghost type has a unique strength, which kind of like pinpoints what kind of ghost it is. Now, there is a little bit of a con with it because we personally, from our experience, we almost always have the same ghosts.
Yeah.
And that
Sometimes,
is starting to get annoying.
Yeah, and sometimes like 3 times in a row or something like that. And
Yes, like I was streaming one day and I had 3 banshees in a row. And I was playing solo, so I was a target.
Yeah. It's not fun. Like the second time, it's like, oh yeah, look, it's another banshee. Oh, pretty fun. And then the third time, it's like, oh, we got that and that. Oh no, it might be a banshee again. Oh boy.
I was like, it's a banshee
we
again.
hate that. I really hate that. And yeah, like sometimes the ghost types, they, how should I say it? Like a spirit doesn't really have anything special to it, and sometimes it acts like another ghost, or like other ghosts acts like other ghosts as well, and sometimes it's not really
It's very confusing,
Yeah.
and it's not consistent as well.
and that's kind of annoying.
It's kind of annoying, especially if you want to do like different types of runs, like if you're trying to do a no evidence run or anything like that, and then you basically have a Yurei acting like a banshee. I'm just saying it for example, and you're like, oh, it's definitely a banshee because it's stalking us, and then it appears to be a Yurei or
Something like that. That's
something like that.
That's more like an aggressive example or an over the top example, I guess. But maybe something like the spirit throwing stuff around while the poltergeist
that's
does
a better
that
example.
as well. But like the poltergeist does more stuff at the same time. But yeah, but it's sometimes complicated, and sometimes like, oh yeah, it's a poltergeist, but then it's a spirit, and that gets annoying. Like I know it's hard to balance that because if you only have like one ghost, for example, a poltergeist that throws around stuff, and you see like a cup flying, it's like, oh yeah, it's a poltergeist because I saw stuff flying around. Like you have to balance that. We can't just say like, yeah, a ghost has to do that and only that, because otherwise it's way too easy to find a ghost type. But at the same time, having like 10 ghosts do the same thing at the same time, yeah, then it's the whole point of the 12 ghost types is kind of ruined then, in my opinion.
Now, still talking about the ghost types and the ghost traits, some ghosts have really great traits. For example, a revenant.
The Revenant is probably the best ghost in the game.
Yes. For us, we made like a little tier list. A revenant is S rank.
Same with Banshee.
Same with Banshee.
Those are like the best ghosts to go against in Phasmophobia.
Those
in my
are
opinion.
personally, for me, the scariest ghosts to go up against, because a revenant, their trait is if they see a player, they just they run for the hills. That's the only ghost that you can't outrun, and it's fucking creepy, especially in a map like Asylum with very long hallways. A Banshee, for example, stalks one person, and if you know that you're the target, oh boy,
yeah,
it messes with you. It's nerve-wracking. You're like, oh shit, I'm the target, and that's what makes the game great again. It's
the
complicated.
Whole vibe. It's the whole vibe.
The whole vibe of the ghost.
It's finding the evidence, and then like if you have like one evidence, then it's like, oh yeah, it can be that, and then you see like Revenant and Banshee, like, oh boy, it might be a Revenant or a Banshee, and then it's like you find your second evidence, and then it's like Revenant or Banshee. It's like, oh fuck. And then you find your third evidence, and then it's like a Revenant. It's like, oh no. And then you
butt
just
clench.
butt clench, and if you're playing with friends, you see your friends like, oh fuck, it's a Revenant. Let's go away. Let's go outside, and
you see
never
like
enter again.
4 people just running for the door. All 4 of them just like,
and that
nope.
makes the game so much fun.
True.
Yeah, I that's one of the things I really like. Like they should balance some of the ghosts, in my opinion. Like make some of the ghosts more creepy. Maybe like a phantom that instead of a phantom being, like if you take a picture of it, it disappears. Maybe like it actually stalks you, kind of like a banshee, but actually shows itself more, like standing behind a corner or something like that, or like in the corner
showing
of a room
itself
and then,
more
yeah.
because the trait of a phantom is if you look at it, your sanity
Yeah,
drops.
something
Just
like
like
that.
showing itself kind of like as much as possible, but not too much, because then you'll instantly know, oh, it's showing itself a lot, it's a phantom. But just a phantom like showing itself more to try to drain your sanity to get into hunting territory.
Something, yeah, stuff like that. You know, that's the stuff they should balance. So yeah, one thing I also like is the equipment. The equipment is very realistic. Maybe outside the parabolic microphone, I guess. I don't know if that's like a real thing in real life. No way. I think they actually use that as a spy thing. Like they use it as a spy
I think a parabolic
hear,
mic is real.
Conversations between, I don't know, different spies, I guess. But yeah, the equipment is very realistic. Like the EMF, you can actually download an app that is an EMF reader. Oh yeah, see, you just found the picture of the parabolic microphone, so it's a realistic thing. The equipment is pretty fun. Like, you know, running around with an EMF and then seeing the dots go to like level 5. It's like it's always scary. You know, the thermometer, seeing the temperature drop. It's also pretty scary because you know that you're actually in the room. Stuff like that.
It's also like you have a little butt clench, like, oh shit, it's here.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know, the infrared cameras and stuff like that. They also use that in real life as well. But then again, some of the equipment is pretty useless in my opinion. I never used the parabolic microphone. Maybe at the beginning of the game just to try it out, but that's about it. The motion sensors and sound sensors are also pretty useless. Like the motion sensor you only use just for your objective, but outside of that, it's just like we never use the motion sensor. Like sometimes we try to do a run without evidence or like without a thermometer or stuff that helps you find the ghost, except the motion sensors and the sound sensors, just so that we can actually use them for once. But outside of that, they're pretty useless in my opinion. There's also other, you know, equipment that's pretty useless.
Like, to be honest, a candle is like, you have a flashlight, it's kind of useless, a candle.
Yeah, your sanity drain is less with a candle, but that's about it.
A little bit, just a little bit.
No, don't worry, it's a lot.
Really?
Okay. Like sometimes you're like level sanity is 50% and I'm like still at 70.
Oh, okay.
So it really helps though. But then again, like that's the only thing it does. It's you actually have to hold it, so you can't use anything else. So yeah, like the equipment is pretty great. There should be a bit of a balance in that as well. Maybe make other equipment more viable, I guess, useful. But at the same time,
the thermometer.
Yeah.
To be honest, a thermometer is like my favorite piece of equipment because it makes it easier to find the ghost. And you're like, oh, yep, it's right here. But even though the thermometer is my favorite thing ever, I think it needs to be nerfed.
A lot.
Instead of the thermometer being nerfed, maybe they should make like a cold room, like a cold area. Yeah. So basically you walk into a house and you're like, oh, okay, it's warm over here, but it's colder over here. So the ghost might be in this direction, like in this area, but you still have to pinpoint the room where it haunts. And to be honest, that would make the game a little bit more interesting again for me, because, you know, like as a thermometer is right now, with just you're walking around and suddenly you see 5 degrees and you're like, oh, it's there. It's right here. Let's set up our equipment and let's go. Yeah,
that's the whole thing I don't like about thermometers. It's just way too easy to find the ghost room. Maybe, or like something like you said, or maybe like, for example, asylum instead of a room, like the whole left wing or the right wing, something like that. And then it's like, oh yeah, it's in the left wing, but you don't know the ghost room. You still have to look for the ghost room with other
like
stuff.
Try and look around
but
with EMF and that kind of stuff.
You know, it's like the left wing or the right wing or like in the middle or something like that.
But then again, for me, a thermometer is nice if you're playing like solo or if you're playing with only 2 people. And then if you're playing on Asylum is such a big map.
Yeah, but then like I said, like if you know that it's the left or the right wing, that
Yeah, that's true.
Then it's like, oh yeah, we don't have to go to the right wing anymore, and it can only just to the left wing or like the upper
Yeah, you
floors
got a
or
point there.
something like that. You know, it's like just an example. I don't know.
Yeah, but you got a point. That's actually a great idea.
You can do other stuff as well with that, like, or maybe in the farmhouse it's like upstairs or downstairs or something like that. I don't know. Or if it's just, I don't know, go inside and it says, oh, it's freezing. Like, oh yeah, we know it's freezing. Like, instead of showing your breath, you actually have to use the thermometer to show if it's freezing, and that's about it. So the whole house is freezing, or it's not freezing. You know what I mean?
No.
So instead of showing the room, you just go inside the house.
Oh, and that the entire house is
entire
freezing.
house or the entire asylum is, or like the bigger maps, they can actually show like a part of the map that's freezing, or not. You know?
I would more say, like, for example, if you have like a house that has a second floor, and if the ghost is on the second floor, that you have a cold spot downstairs, but not really freezing, like maybe until like 4 degrees or something, and then as soon as you go upstairs, that it gradually starts to become like freezing.
Yeah, something like I don't know, like they should do something about the thermometer in my opinion, because the thermometer is probably the best equipment to use right now.
It's really powerful.
One more thing, I guess. The game is still in early access, so most of the things that we talked about that are negative, I guess, are probably going to be, fixed in the future.
Yeah, most likely.
To be honest, like how long have we been playing Phasmophobia at the moment? Like
I think like
2 months.
Yeah, something like that.
Two and a half months.
I think we started playing like maybe a week after it came out, or maybe less. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. It doesn't really matter, but it's still early access. But I feel that the updates are pretty
consistent.
Consistent, yeah.
The updates are consistent. As soon as they find a bug, they try to fix it as soon as possible. We also play on the beta build a lot of the time, and like most of the time, I mean, we noticed that the beta build really has a lot of updates because they're constantly trying to fix bugs, and they're constantly trying to make like changes to the game, like for example the lighting, stuff like that. But so it's still early access, so bear with that.
But I mean, it's still early access, so bugs and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's a beefy game for early access. Like some games are just 1 or 2 maps and 1 or 2 ghost types, but you have 12 ghost types and I think 8 maps at the moment, which in my opinion is pretty big for like an early access game.
I think 8 maps.
8 maps, yeah. 8.
Tanglewood, Edgefield, Ridgeview, the 2 farmhouses, Asylum, High School, and Prison. 8 maps. Yeah.
So it's still pretty beefy for an early access game. So
it is really beefy.
It's probably one of the better early access games that came out recently.
True.
But it's still early access.
It's still early access. So let's maybe talk about what we might like to see in the future, like more equipment. Kind of equipment that I would like to see is something that ghost hunters also use in real life. Is they basically use like a Kinect from Xbox Kinect, and then you can see like little skeletons, like stick figures moving.
The stick figures
moving
in the way that the ghost moves, I guess.
And the one thing that would be really awesome is maybe like add a tablet
or a laptop.
Or like a laptop. But if they add a laptop, you can only carry the laptop. You can't carry anything else of evidence or even a flashlight. Like you're forced to stay with a friend or something. But
that makes the hunts more scary as well, because
you don't have a light.
you start hunting and you don't have a light. Your friends are, oh no, they run away. You're like, oh fuck, I'm standing here with the laptop, something like that.
Yeah, but then again, on the laptop, you can switch through cameras. You can see the activity and maybe like the motion the map and sound sensors and that kind of stuff.
And those things, the laptop makes the motion sensors and the sound sensors and
more useful.
Yeah, more useful, because now it's you hang a motion sensor and you can only see it in your van. But yeah, like
you can hear it, but it's a very faint beep.
Yeah. But like in Asylum, like if it's like the older way of the Asylum, yeah, go back to the van and then go back to the room and then back to the van, back to the room. It's like a walking simulator then.
Yeah, like something portable that you can still check the map, the activity, the cameras maybe. That would be really nice. But it would be overpowered. So that's why I'm saying make it also a disadvantage.
Yeah.
That you can only
like
carry the
balancing
laptop.
Stuff out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like more equipment. Maybe like the so I read that somewhere that they wanted to add that as well. Like the tripods, but you can actually put a light on the tripods that's not connected to the fuse box. So you always have a light with you.
Oh.
Like one you can set up in the hallway or something like that. And then
that would be nice.
Something like that. You know, like more equipment in general. I think more maps would be fun as well, but I think...
They're working on more maps.
Yeah, they're working on new maps. But personally, I think more ghost types is a bigger priority.
Yeah.
The prison map is pretty fun, but it's just a new map with new stuff, and that's it. But having more ghost types to find out and
maybe add like a new difficulty. Like a new difficulty, because we've noticed that on professional we have a lot of passive ghosts. And maybe adding like a new difficulty that's like nightmare or something, where the ghost just goes mayhem.
2020 mode.
2020 mode of Five Nights at Freddy's.
All the ghost types at the same time.
Oh, Jesus Christ, 12 ghost types. No, but just like maybe add like a new difficulty where the ghosts just go ham.
Yeah, or like add like more options to the games. Like, for example... They can actually choose the types of ghosts that you want to see. For build. For example, I only want to play against reverends, banshees, demons, yureis, onis, and shades, something like that. I don't know. And then the games you play, it's always between those 5 or 6 or 7 ghosts that you choose. Because I personally kind of, enough.
You've kind of had enough of like...
I'm not sure what happened there. Like, yeah, but I kind of have enough, spirits or wraiths,
like
or what else do we get a lot?
We get a lot of phantoms.
Phantoms, same stuff like that. So if you have like an option that you can actually choose the different types of ghosts, and then maybe like like I want to see that map and that difficulty, instead of having random maps and random difficulties, you can actually choose your map and your difficulty, and then the types of ghosts you want to see, stuff like that. Add an all button that you actually can add the equipment, stuff like that. Just general UI, like user interface stuff that makes the game more.
Yeah, and maybe like add
easy.
A button where you can choose your map and choose the difficulty you play on,
yeah,
instead of it
like
being random. Just add stuff like that. That would be really nice. Thank you.
To make your experience a lot more fun and easier, Because how many times you have to leave a match to find a new match to get a better map, and it's like, it's still the same, and I have to leave again. That would be...
Especially like people doing challenges, like they only want to play their favorite map, which is maybe Bleasdale Farmhouse or Tanglewood, and they only want to play those maps on a certain difficulty, like for example professional, and then sometimes you're literally just scrolling through the maps constantly, making a private game, leaving a private game to find that map on that difficulty. So it would be really nice if you could just choose the map and difficulty you want to play on. And maybe like allow other players to make mods and
design their own
maps and ghost types.
Like add like ghost types as in the way they act and the way they look, stuff like that, like mods, I don't know, just give people the freedom to do stuff with the game.
Now, I know that there have been mods that like change the game a bit, like multiple ghosts in one game, that kind of stuff. But that's not the kind of mods we want to see.
Or something like that. I don't know, like have a bigger map, maybe Asylum have 2 types of ghosts, or like 2 ghosts of the same time.
Yeah, like 2 ghosts, fine, but I've seen like games where there are 20 ghosts.
I know, but it's like extreme, like extreme. But like I don't know, like you said, the things I love to see more of is more ghost types. Maybe more equipment that is actually useful, or balance the equipment that it's all of them is useful. More maps, yeah, sure.
I want a haunted mansion.
Yeah, a haunted mansion. I love a haunted mansion as well, or maybe
like a Victorian haunted mansion.
Yeah, something like that, or like one of those typical
Bloodborne-esque mansions or something.
I would say a Haunting of Hill House type of mansion, like a big giant mansion, a theme park, one of those typical horror theme rides, circus, stuff like that. And yeah, more aggressive ghost. Like an extra mode, like Mew said, an extra mode that makes the game the ghost more aggressive, do more stuff. Maybe not more hunts, but more aggressive, as in
like they scream in your ear, or they show themselves.
Yeah, stuff like that.
They charge at you. Something.
How many games we have without having any type of ghost activities? Like we go inside the house, find our equipment, and then leave, and that's it, without any activity at all. Maybe just a door that opens, or like
for me personally, a djinn is one of my favorite ghosts, because if you know it's a djinn, you know that it's going to be a little bit more aggressive because they're very territorial. And that's personally why a djinn is one of my favorite ghost types, because I know that you can get a lot of activity out of a djinn. Because as soon as you enter their room, they sigh in your ear, or an oni, for example.
Or the shady for playing alone, stuff like that.
Like, they sigh in your ear, they start flashing with the lights, they start opening and closing doors. They go ham, and that's what I really like.
And that's what I hope to see in the future as well. Just more and better.
I guess for our all-round review,
if we're gonna give it sidetracking at the end.
We're sidetracking a little bit. But if you were to give it stars out of 5, how would you rate Phasmophobia?
Oh fuck!
I would say 4. 4 out of 5 stars.
I'm gonna say maybe something controversial. It depends. Like the usual games that we have, it's a 3 out of 5. But those games that we really have, like the games that are where the ghost is very active and very aggressive and shows themselves and scream and close and open doors and stuff like that, and then start hunting a lot, then Phasmophobia is like 4.5 for me.
Yeah, okay, I can follow you with that one.
But like if the normal games that would, like 90% of our games that we have without any activity is it's a 3. Like the vibe and stuff is still pretty cool, but I want more. I want more activity.
More aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And then you have people probably watching this that are like, no, the game is scary enough, stop.
Yeah, we're level 600, so yeah. Well, it's almost.
Yeah, I've already passed the 600 milestone.
So yeah, it's a pretty long review, and we kind of sidetracked at the end, so
bear with us,
just
please.
To give it like a final conclusion, it's a pretty awesome co-op game to play with friends or solo if you want to have like the real horror experience. And it's still early access, but I'm gonna say, like, if you want to play a game with friends, like a co-op game, and want to have some fun and scares, Phasmophobia is the perfect game.
It really is.
Yeah, and if you want to play solo, it's the perfect game as well.
Yeah.
Because it's randomly generated.
It's a perfect balance. So it's a perfect balance.
Yeah. It's randomly generated. I mean, the ghost activity is randomly generated, so each time it's different. True. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this long review.
It's the first time we're making a review, so please bear with us.
Yeah, you're probably gonna see some gameplay in the background. Maybe you should have said that in the beginning.
I can still make a little disclaimer.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'm just gonna say, play Phasmophobia. Pretty awesome game.
It really is. I really enjoy playing Phasmophobia.
So yeah.
Have a nice day and bye-bye.
Have a Merry Christmas and New Year.
Oh yeah, right. It's a Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year. All right.